Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Views from the Sideline. I'm here, of course, as always, joined by Daniel, and we have Mitch on the podcast today. And we'll be just discussing, it's going to be a shorter episode, just going to go over some of the trades and what we've seen so far in the Summer League. So kind of getting right into the last podcast, actually, right as we were wrapping up, massive trade happened, and I'm really angry that we didn't get to do it live last time, but at least we can talk about it today. So basically, Rudy Gobert, three-time Defensive Player of the Year, plays for the Jazz, was just traded to the Timberwolves about 2 weeks ago now. So he was traded for Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Leandro Bolmaro, Walker Kessler, who was the number 22nd pick in the 2022 draft, Jared Vanderbilt, 2023 first-round pick, 2025 first-round pick, 2026 pick swap, 2027 first-round pick, and 2029 first-round pick. So 5 first-round picks, 5 players, although none of them too crazy in their own right. Like there weren't any all-stars on this side of the trade, but just a huge amount of capital, I guess I would say, was traded for Gobert. So he's obviously going to be teaming up with Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. And the Timberwolves definitely made this move to push themselves past the 6th seed, which is what they were this year. So kind of any initial thoughts on this trade, I guess, from both sides?
I mean, it was a blockbuster and a half, and it just makes me so excited to watch the combination of Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns. I mean, that's pretty much like a new kind of Twin Towers thing that they've got going on. And it's going to be fun to watch that block party. And Karl-Anthony Towns is already a great kind of two-way player. And now they're adding in one of the best shot blockers, if not the best shot blocker in the entire league, and pairing him with, young Anthony Edwards. I mean, this is, like you were saying, it's a bit of a win now move. This is, they're ready to really light a fire under this team and bring something home. And it's going to be, it's results now. And I'm excited to see it because, like I said, I'm impatient and I want to see it.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, not because actually I was just surprised with the fact that they thought about like the whole 2 center concept, because I thought Rudy Gobert would be going to like a team where they like need more forwards. I mean, I guess with the Timberwolves, they do need more big men, and they traded away at their entire starting lineup practically except for the 3 guys duo, Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns. So now that I think about it, if they stay with the same roster for the rest of the summer and then into the season, they're not going to really have a bench. Like their bench is going to be bad. Their starting line is probably going to be like, I mean, Russell, Edwards, then probably like Jaden McDaniels, then Cat and Gobert, and then on the bench, I don't even know anybody who's on the bench in the Timberwolves, but
Harden, McLaughlin, Nas, I mean, Torian Prince, a lot of guys that we haven't heard a lot about. Like you were saying, they completely gutted their team. And they lost Patrick Beverley, poor Patrick Beverley, but that's a whole other thing.
Oh my God, I feel so bad for Patrick Beverley because remember when they won in that play-in game to send him to the playoffs and he was like celebrating with the fans, like throwing his jersey into the crowd.
That was funny.
So passionate, and then they just traded him away like 2 months later. They did him dirty on that one, honestly. But here's my thing. Like, there's 2 things that are kind of interesting. First of all, if this fails for the Timberwolves, they are done till like the end of the decade.
Exactly.
They have no picks. They traded away like their next 5 years worth of picks over the course of 7 years. 5 of those years have been traded away. So they're going to have no picks for a while. That's one thing.
It's kind of like the Rams in the NFL. They completely get rid of all their first round picks. They trade it for proven talent because they're not exactly too high on taking chances on these guys. Granted, they had a great selection. They traded him away, Walker Kessler out of Auburn. I actually really liked him. He's very similar to Rudy Gobert, actually. He blocks pretty much everything that comes in his path. The guy has condor arms. But, I mean, I was going to say, like, that's the perfect way of putting it. If they don't get it done, if they don't do what they set out to do with this trade, they're going to be in a bit of a hole. And I would love to hear a lot of fans' point of view from that. Wonder if they still have that same concern.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine there's so much controversy with this trade because, there's some people who are going to think, oh, two bigs, they're going to have good defense, they're going to rebound well, and then you're going to have, D'Lo and Edwards who can score. But then on the other hand, people are like, whoa, you just traded away. I mean, like logically, you would trade away like a forward or a center for Gobert, and they did trade away Walker Kessler, but then they traded away Patrick Beverley, who was like playing really well at the end of the season and at the end of the playoffs. You had Malik Beasley, who's actually not playing bad. Then you trade away Jared Vanderbilt. So you technically, so you trade away a lot of your good players. So now they have to figure out how they can like get some role players, or I don't know, because I don't know if they gave up too much to the point where they don't have much cap space anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see if they give up too much. It really depends on how Rudy Gobert plays next year. But another thing that kind of came from this trade, like considering how much was given up for Rudy Gobert, if Kevin Durant gets traded, like what are teams going to have to give up for him? Because this is a huge package, and Rudy Gobert is probably not even a top 10 player in the league. Like most people don't consider him a top 10 player. So when you're trading away Kevin Durant, who was easily top 3 when healthy, what is he like? You got to get like an all-star, like a bunch of draft picks plus that's going to be an insane trade if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if it already takes a full bench to go for a guy like Rudy Gobert, I was gonna say there are gonna be some stars in the mix.
But almost, I feel like they traded too much for Rudy Gobert. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I guess I've watched Gobert before, and but people have been. I mean, I've had people tell me that he was slumping towards the end of the year, and that's why the Jazz kind of failed and fell. But then, I mean, Patrick Beverley was playing at the top of the peak of his peak. I mean, you trade away 2 of your other starters. You traded away, your draft pick. You trade away other draft picks. I mean, all for Rudy Gobert. Like, I mean, like you said, like he's not even top 10 in the NBA. So I think even for KD, like that would be just right for KD. I think it's too much for Gobert, if I'm being honest with you.
As much as it's too much for Gobert, I think it still sets a precedent. And it's going to be teams because it's going to be what they demand. They can still cite it as, the minimum, regardless of whether or not it was actually fair compensation.
Because think about the Timberwolves, like I just saw on Bleacher Report the other day, like Brooklyn and Minnesota were negotiating for Kevin Durant. And it's the Brooklyn Nets asked for Cat, Anthony Edwards, and 4 first-round picks for Kevin Durant, and the Wolves declined.
I mean, that's an obvious, I would not take that trade. Trade away, get rid of both of my franchise centerpieces, 2 number 1 picks who are going to have like 10 years in the league probably for someone who's 33.
And he's probably going to play like 5 more years.
Exactly. Like, I think it's a little bit ridiculous to even, like, that is too high an asking price. Like, it's Kevin Durant, but like, you can't have a team. You can't like give away your entire, like, you cannot expect to give away your future until the end of the decade for one guy. And like, it's not like it's like he's like 26, it's 33.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just a crazy trade. We'll have to see how it goes.
Well, when is it going to happen?
When is what?
I heard reporters saying like this trade's going to go on for so long, but how long? Like, is it going to go on? Like when he makes his decision? That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, in my opinion, I don't even think he's going to get traded before the season. I think they're going to hope he plays, and then he's probably going to sit out, and then like they'll probably trade him by like February. That's probably what's going to happen.
By February.
Yeah, trade that. Like it'll be like a last minute thing. I think it's going to be like how Ben Simmons kind of did what he did last year.
But I don't think actually, this is kind of similar. Like, I mean, I guess, because they lose in the playoffs, but Katie didn't even play like horrible in that series against Boston. I mean, he played okay. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't think Katie's getting traded to like Phoenix by next week or something. Nothing crazy like that is going to happen. That would be just too much.
That'd be funny.
But the other thing that's kind of been going on in this offseason has been the summer league, and I honestly think the summer league this year has been very exciting in these first few games.
Oh, yeah.
The rookies, especially those top three, have had a lot of interesting things going on with each of them. So first off, we got to go to the number 2 pick, Chet Holmgren, who had an absolutely stunning debut. He dropped 23 points, very efficient from the field. I believe he shot like over 55%. Had a record 6 blocks in that game, and they blew out the Utah Jazz. So, any thoughts about his first performance?
He's playing well. I mean, in our earlier podcast, we kind of mentioned that he's skinny. He needs to build muscle and stuff. He does, but he's actually looking pretty good out there. He had 6 blocks in the first game, and that was apparently the record for the summer league. And then he was saying that he's going to break it again because it wasn't that many blocks. But no,
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone praised him. Like even Kevin Durant even tweeted out about him. But one game, just a little bit off topic about Chet, just if you don't mind. Like I watched just now, literally a couple hours ago, we had the Magic versus the Kings. We had Keegan Murray versus Bonchera. So the Magic were up by 6 with 4 seconds to go. The Kings make it a 3-point game. Steal the inbound. Keegan Murray fakes over Bonchera. Bonchera obviously falls for it. And then Keegan Murray makes the 3 to force overtime. Then the Magic miss a full court shot. It goes in and out at the end of overtime. And then so now they made a new rule how in double overtime, it's sudden death. So first point wins. Paul Bonchera had blocked a dunk. And everyone was saying how it's a foul. They reviewed it for 15 minutes, overturned it so the Magic got the ball. And then Bonchera did like the best pass I've ever seen to like their center, and he almost lost the ball and then put it in and made it. It was like crazy. It was one of the, like everyone's saying it was like the highlight of the summer league, and although it's the summer league and it doesn't really matter that much, like it was just absolutely crazy. Like I was mind blown.
Yeah, that is like sudden death is a sick concept, like for basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know they do it for other sports, like for football. I guess for football it's a little bit different.
I don't really like it in football though. I feel like it's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's so much slower.
Yeah.
Like basketball, it's just like it doesn't matter like who's better, who's worse. First bucket wins. They should do that in like the playoffs, like double overtime. Just like that'd be crazy.
That would lead to some nail biters. I feel like that would be pretty exciting. Although I don't think it would be met with the best. I don't know. I feel like it's almost a little too much for something like the playoffs. I don't know. I feel like it'd have to test.
Maybe not the playoffs like the season, but like I mean, you've had games where like in overtime, like one team blows up the other team in overtime and wins. Like what if like the other team scores the first bucket and like I don't know.
What they could do it like the All-Star game where you have like the target score, so you have to score like 25 points.
Yeah, they could do that.
Pretty cool too.
They did that in the Rising Stars game as well. Yeah, I'd like that point limit. Yeah.
I don't know. Just like interesting ideas.
Thinking of new concepts.
Like out of the 3 rookies, so Bonchera also played Jabari Smith in his debut. He had 17 points. He was like scoring step back threes, pulling up from mid range. He was scoring a lot outside of the paint. He was also playing well in defense. He had a nasty block on Jabari. Was moving well, and they beat the Rockets. Jabari didn't have too good of a game. So like out of the 3 rookies right now, who do you think is like the most superstar potential? Like Holmgren, Bonchera, or Jabari?
As comfortable as Chet Holmgren looked in his debut with those 6 blocks, that's pretty much exactly what he was, what we expected out of him out of college. I think I like Banchero's debut. He did pretty much everything across the floor. He looked about as dominant as he was in college. He also looked, comfortable is I think the best term to put it. And, I think it leaves there's a lot of room to grow out of that. And I think that's kind of a scary thought to think that, he could do a lot more than what he's just showing us in this small sample size.
Yeah, like watching those few summer league games, like I think Bonchero stands out because like when I was watching it, he really seemed like he was the leader. Like he was trying to draw up plays, and that's something that like a number 1 pick should be able to do. And especially being on the Magic where the team has a lot of potential to be good because they're very young. Like they have Cole Anthony, they have Jalen Suggs, they have Paul Banchero, and they have just like super young. So like I think even although Banchero is gonna be a rookie, he can still, and there's like so much stuff for rookies in the NBA nowadays where they're like just to tag along or something, but like he can definitely be a leader in the NBA, not in the summer league. And I think that if he does it, it can help him in his future years. If I mean, I don't know if he's going to stay with the Magic for his whole career, or he's going to like get traded or something. But he could definitely, I think that's what teams could be looking for in him, is like leadership, scoring. Like he's like an all around player. So I think that's what he can do.
I think personally, I think this is I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that he's my current favorite before the season starts for rookie of the year. I'm going to say that my current favorite. And I think another outside of that top three, you mentioned earlier, Keegan Murray. I think he dropped 26 points in his summer league debut, and I think he proved a lot of people wrong with that performance. And I think he's going to be another sneaky thing. I initially said before during the draft that I wasn't exactly that high on him, and granted it's one performance still, but he's kind of growing up, and I think he's going to fly under the radar a little.
Yeah, and actually, even to go with one pick down further, Jaden Ivey, your guy for the Pistons, he had a great debut too. He had 20 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. So it's like all the top 5 picks, except for maybe Jabari Smith so far, have had like great games in there so far.
Yeah, and it's good practice because it's gonna like really put them for the NBA at that level. And also, like, if I'm being honest with you guys, this is like the first year where I'm actually following all the guys from the draft. I started thinking so many things in basketball. I started watching college basketball. I started, watching the draft now. And now like I know who to like watch out for. Like you guys just said, Banchero, Chet Holmgren. Even though Jabari Smith has one bad game, it's not like it's gonna be, if he has 2, then maybe people are gonna start worrying. But again, it's practice. He's getting used to it and so on. And then Keegan Murray had an outscore. He had a really good game. His first game, he played really low today. So I can imagine he probably did as good as he did last time. And then Jaden Ivey led the Pistons really well last night. So I think the future's bright. And then also one guy I wanted to talk about briefly was the Heat, the rookie, Nikola, not Jokic, but Jovic. I saw his stats. He had like 28 points or something in his debut, and he played well. So like, especially with the Heat, and there's so much criticism if they're going to get Kevin Durant or not, who are they going to trade for him? If they do happen to trade if they do get Kevin Durant in the first place, and if they do trade like a center or forward for him, then maybe like Nikola Jovic could come in, and he's playing amazing. Like I think he's going to be one of those underrated players in the league in the coming years.
No, absolutely. I watched a little bit of his highlights, and I'm impressed. That's all I can say. And by the way, one thing about Jaden Ivey, he just rolled his ankle. He just hurt his ankle just now, about 20 minutes ago. In that game, he was shot a 3, came down on the defender's foot, and he got helped into the locker room. So that's no fun.
And then Shaedon Sharpe got injured too. He's out for the rest of the summer league, the Blazers rookie.
Yeah. I feel like the Heat, going back to them a little bit, they kind of have hit pretty well in their draft picks, or I guess even their undrafted players. Like Tyler Hero, great pickup. Duncan Robinson was a good pickup from undrafted. Max Strus was also good. And then this Nikola Jovic also seems to be shaping up. So they've done really well. Ever since Jimmy Butler came on, they've done well of like being in contention while also Bam Adebayo is also a good pick. They've done well. They've done a good job of being in contention, like number 1 seed in the East, while also still drafting new talent that's going to be useful in the future, which I think is actually like really underrated. Like you usually don't see like the number 1 teams in the
getting like good picks,
being, like making good picks, like Phoenix. Like I don't know who they drafted on. I on my head, but I don't think it was anybody crazy. So I think the Heat just have a phenomenal like scouting and development staff, I have to say.
Yeah, and Max Strus, he was super underrated. Like I went to Miami for a vacation. I remember one, but it was like at the very beginning of the season, it was like 4th or 5th home game for the Heat. They played against the Pistons. And although it was a close game, Max Strus made every single 3-pointer that he shot. He was like clutch. They won by like 6, but Max Strus had like 28 points. Jimmy Butler got injured that game. He got helped off the court, and Max Strus just came in, filled his role. And from that point on, I just knew that he was going to like be something. So I think if Miami does find a package for Kevin Durant, I think that like, I mean, I think it's gonna be really tough to trade if they have to like trade a like Hero or I don't know, like Strus. Like I think you have to trade away like Kyle Lowry maybe, and like I don't even know. I think PJ Tucker would have been great, but PJ Tucker was obviously a free agent, but I'm not really sure about Miami. But like I don't know. I mean, Mitch, we didn't do the episode with you on Kevin Durant. Like based on like what you've seen, who do you think? Where do you think Kevin Durant's gonna go? Yeah, it's tough to think about.
It is tough to think about because you have to go through, those teams that really, with front offices that you think would be willing to take that step, and how like ones that are really risk takers, because what you're doing is you're taking a risk. And because you'd have to look at a team that's probably deep enough to, or at least have multiple stars. I mean, that's what I'm gonna have to think about in all honesty. I would say I can't really put a number on it. I mean, I think Phoenix would be a great place. I think that's one that we've talked about in the past and one that we've returned to. And I think that, packaging DeAndre Ayton would be, probably
That would be crazy.
At least what we get.
If they got him but kept like Booker and Paul together and like
but the Nets. Well, actually, I have no clue how this works. Like the Nets wanted Booker, like they said they wanted Booker back, but Booker just signed an extension, a 4-year extension. Is it possible for him to get out of it? I don't think so.
I don't think he has a no trade clause in there. He probably can get traded anyway. Like I know Bradley Beal has a no trade clause, so it's funny that Bradley Beal is staying in Washington. Like he's 29. Yeah. I would be out of there.
He's very loyal.
I mean
he's definitely, the Wizards are definitely, yeah. I don't even
be contending next year.
I mean, they have Porzingis who could step up. They have like I don't even know who they have, but like, I mean, I know where KD's going though. He's going to Toronto.
He's not going to number 1 in the country.
He's going to the other country, Canada. The Raptors beat the Sixers, got revenge, won by 20. We were down by 14, came back. But
you could beat them in the actual playoffs.
Banton had 21 points. Kevin Durant's going to go to the Raptors. We're going to trade Siakam, Anunoby, 2 first-round picks. Our starting lineup's going to be Van Vliet, Trent, Scotty Barnes, Kevin Durant, Precious Achiuwa. We're going to have Otto Porter Jr. and Chris Boucher coming off the bench. That's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe he'll stay with the Nets, Ekamresh. Maybe you won't be sad after all.
I'll believe it when there's a Woj bomb.
Yeah.
No, the Woj bomb is gonna come out of nowhere. I watch it be like it's gonna be like a Friday morning. Just like you're just gonna get the tweet like Kevin Durant has been traded to the Orlando Magic for like Paolo right there. So it's gonna be like something.
It's gonna be something completely out of left field, and it's
Kevin Durant gets traded to the Pelicans for Zion and Brandon Ingram.
Oh, that would be. Imagine he went to the Pelicans. I didn't even think about that.
Imagine he went to the Grizzlies for Jaren Jackson, like
Desmond Bain and Knicks.
And go his job. They're the rivals with the Warriors. Phoenix is like crying, and then like I don't know. I mean, both conferences are going to be super I think the East will be more competitive this year because you already have those good teams like the Celtics, Sixers, Bucks, Raptors. The Magic are young but getting better. The Pistons are getting better. The Heat are good. Then maybe KD's going to go somewhere in the East. I mean, at this point, it's just like, I mean, I already said this, but whoever has the best deal for Kevin Durant, that's where he's going to go. And I mean, I saw a source on Instagram that said it. I don't remember. Maybe it was Bleacher Report, but I think it was like a reliable source where he said like Kevin Durant like doesn't want to go to a team that doesn't have like one or two like all-stars or something like that. Which may be I don't know.
I don't know. I actually kind of talking about those teams in the East, the Sixers. James Harden actually did something which I gained a lot of respect for. He took a $15 million pay cut. So instead of being paid about $47 million, he's only going to be only taking $32 million.
Only 32 million.
Only
yeah,
32 million.
Only.
I think it's a respectable move still, because he could have opted into almost $50 million deal, and now he's going about 20 million less, which is
but they're not gonna win.
Yeah, but now they have like room to like sign like a 3-and-D player to.
But that's what Andrew and Wojnarowski said. He said that that James Harden took away the $15 million pay cut because of they want to make a championship run, and who they're going to trade. I mean, Kevin Durant is not worth $15 million, so they're
Kevin Durant is not going to the Sixers. Like now that
Yeah.
James Harden's done this, I think that's kind of confirmed. But I just think it was a very nice move from James Harden.
Veteran move. It's a veteran leader move.
Exactly, and I think he's kind of realized that, hey, his time for a championship, this championship window is kind of closing, so he needs to really do all that he can right now. And I think that if they can get someone, obviously Danny Green's injured, like they could get like a Mikal Bridges type player, to their roster to strengthen their bench and their defense. I think that they could be scary next year, like probably number 1 seed.
I don't know if it's possible, like with the whole Kevin Durant trade, like couldn't it be like a 3-team trade or something?
Yeah, you could probably do that. I mean, that's what they did with James Harden.
I saw a funny source where they said like Kevin Durant goes to like, I don't remember which team, but he goes to some team, then Ben Simmons goes to like the Jazz. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Donovan Mitchell was like, he asked the Jazz front office like, what are you guys doing?
Really?
Rudy Gobert. He was just like, what is going on? So I wonder what's gonna happen to him. He might be gone too.
I mean, I don't think that the Heat are gonna put Donovan Mitchell and Kevin Durant in Miami. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think so.
But I mean, I think he's gonna probably go. He might go to. He's not gonna go to the Knicks, but like, he's gonna probably.
Everyone's saying he's gonna go to the Knicks. I don't understand why, because he's not going to.
Yeah, the Knicks just got Brunson. I don't think they have any more space for like anybody else.
But I don't think the Knicks are gonna. I think the Knicks are. They're not in rebuild mode. I'm not gonna say that, but like, the Knicks are definitely in like a stage where, like, they might make the playoffs. I mean 50-50 on the point.
They're basically they're mediocre. Like that's
mediocre. Sorry. That's a good word. Yeah.
That's a good word to describe them. Like that's where they've been for 10 years. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like they've never been crazy good. They've never been. I mean, they've been really bad in a few years, but like they can't seem to get like a top. Like they can't be like the 3rd seed.
But again, like many other teams, the Knicks are really young. I mean, not really, but they're young. Like, I mean, other than Julius Randle, like they have Mitchell Robinson, they have RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson. I mean, all these guys have been drafted in like the past 5 years.
This year though. I mean, their first pick was 42 this year, and they drafted Trevor, like a center, Trevor Keels, out of Duke, I believe. But still, I mean, to wait until 42 to get, someone that might not necessarily be an impact player immediately. I mean, they don't necessarily need it, considering they just signed like Mitchell Robinson at the center position. But I was going to say, they haven't exactly added anything this year. They traded away a few more picks, I think, as well in the Jalen Duren trade. So, I mean, yeah, they bolstered their lineup this year, but, I mean, I guess they're not really looking to round out that lineup just yet.
What do you guys think about the Hornets? I'm just curious because they drafted also a center from Duke.
Mark.
Mark Williams, I think.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, I mean, I live here, so like, and Charlotte, so like everyone's like saying, oh, LaMelo and Mark Williams are gonna be the new duo in the NBA. I'm like, I don't know, because the whole Miles Bridges situation is kind of,
he's gone. Like,
I was gonna say he's not, at least not for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I don't think you can even sign him, and like it's just like you can't. He should be gone.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is he had a great season last year, so that is a loss for the Hornets, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine. They'll probably be slightly better than they were last year. I think LaMelo is just going to keep taking steps forward. And they're probably gonna do a good job in rounding out the roster. I mean, drafting a center was we all talked about during the season, like how they should trade for Miles Turner or a center to bolster their lineup, and they drafted one, so that was good on them. They kind of addressed their needs.
I remember
they
how
could have
before. Oh, yeah,
could
go
have
ahead.
signed Montrezl Harrell if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could. Because I mean,
He's a little bit
because go ahead.
he's a little bit undersized. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, now they added a 7-footer in Mark Williams. So
Yeah, I remember last season. I like we had like a podcast like right before the season started, and I was saying how Mason Plumlee is gonna make like a big impact on the Charlotte Hornets, and it was like back when we had our Instagram live, and then Mason Plumlee like averaged like 4 points per game or something like that. And I live in Charlotte, so I went to like 6 or 7 Hornets games, and he just played so bad in all of them. Like he couldn't rebound the ball. So actually, I think they drafted kind of smart. I think they have to like waive like Mason Plumlee or like trade him or something for like a draft pick or something because he's just awful. I
don't thinking about him.
Yeah, I can't believe I said that he's gonna make a big impact for the Hornets like right before that season.
Dwight Howard is an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, maybe
37 to bring back.
37. What about the Lakers? The Lakers are now like I don't even know.
It would be perfect on the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean he could go back to the Lakers like Dwight Howard, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. I think that the Lakers, like with Scottie Pippen's son and then Shaq's son, I think that'd be kind of cool if they actually go to the roster. I mean, I think with Kyrie Irving, it's just, I mean, for me, I'm just confused about where Kyrie's gonna like. I mean, I think I know where he's gonna go. He's probably gonna go to the Lakers, but like trade like Russell Westbrook. I don't think the Nets are gonna like trade just Russell Westbrook for Kyrie. I think they're gonna have to trade like more than that.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's gonna happen honestly at this point.
I already forgot Russell Westbrook exists.
I think the Lakers roster is probably going to be the same. I think Scottie Pippen will probably make it. I don't think Sharif is going to make it. And I think they're going to be like a 5th seed at best. Depending on how healthy.
5th?
Yeah.
Bro,
it's LeBron. LeBron will make it
work.
It's
LeBron. Did you see what happened last year?
Yeah, but I think Anthony Davis will be.
Well, yeah, he was injured. Imagine like Anthony Davis like tears his Achilles or something in the first game of the season. Yeah, that'll be. I mean,
I can't even. No, you're gonna jinx them. Like, just don't even.
I'm sorry. I mean, like injuries. Like I think at this point, like we're already guaranteeing like a star player gets injured when the season starts because it happens every year. Like you had Anthony Davis injured all last season. Kevin Durant's just like known for getting injured. Like there's his like middle name, like Kevin getting injured Durant, and then like, I mean, you have like Irving. I don't know. I mean, everyone's getting injured.
Is Kawhi back next year?
I don't know. Maybe he gets injured again.
No, I hope. I really like.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, I love him because he gave us a ring, but then he betrayed us for no reason. That's okay. But
yeah, I think he might be coming back.
It said they wrote an article on April 20th, 2022 that it says like 12 to 15 months. He got injured April of 2021?
June. Yeah.
It's
already been about a year. It's already been.
My bad. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I definitely think it's possible. I mean, John Wall, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, depending on how John Wall does, I think Paul George is going to be good. So then you have Norman Powell, who's a complete beat. Like he's dangerous. Reggie Jackson.
Zubac.
Yeah, exactly. And Zubac's young too.
Yeah, they have a good chance to be pretty good if Kawhi's.
Kawhi wouldn't have got injured if he wouldn't have left us. I still regret that.
Yeah.
Like we won a ring. We would have won like 2 more or something like that.
Yeah, he kind of made the wrong decision there. And also I feel like Paul George, bro. I forgot about Paul George. I'm gonna be honest.
We forgot about a lot of players.
Like Paul George specifically, considering how good he was, like I just completely forgot about him ever since he's been on the Clippers. Like, I don't, it's just like weird.
I mean, how often is he court? Was he on the court?
No,
Yeah,
he was. I mean, he was injured, but then he came back.
he was injured this season, but the other 2 seasons he was healthy. But it's just like,
I mean, they made the Western Conference Finals. They almost made the finals.
yeah,
I think everyone's going to forget about that.
true. Yeah, I don't know. But I would say the Clippers era is a failure as of right now. Like they haven't really done anything to show for it. They haven't even made a finals.
I mean, they choked it through. So far, their resume with Kawhi and Paul George, they choke a 3-1 lead, and then the next year, actually, I mean, even losing to the Suns, like, I mean, it was an injury with Kawhi. I think with Kawhi, they would have had a better chance of beating Phoenix because Kawhi had the experience of winning 2 titles, making, I mean, I don't remember exactly how like the Spurs did when he was there, but like making like the conference finals, second round consecutive. So like he had the experience, and I think it's gonna really, hopefully, if he comes back next year, it's gonna help him because I think the experience is gonna help.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. Good podcast, guys. NBA off season as usual. Continuing on. We'll see how the summer league goes. I think we'll definitely probably do an episode towards the end of the summer league to like recap how those guys are doing. And just make sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be putting more content out throughout the summer.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Go Raptors. Peace.